Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today I am making the first video for my YouTube channel along with this series, the ACE CPT certification series. So we'll be starting chapter by chapter. There are 18 chapters and some of the chapters are very long. So I think we'll be making couple of videos for those ones. Otherwise the other chapters are relatively small. So I think we'll be able to cover those in just one video. Okay. So without wasting time, we'll just start with the covering the first chapter, that is role and scope of practice for a personal trainer. And okay, before I start this, I would like to tell you that I'll be covering these chapters into two parts. The first one will be like I'll be telling all the details of the concepts, okay, that are important for this in this chapter. And the second one is I'll be talking with respect to examination, the question and the concept which may come in the exam or which came in my exam. So I'll be telling you those as well. And the main goal behind making this video is to when I was preparing for my own exam, so I consulted a lot of YouTube videos, the scientific journals, the papers, the ACE content, everything. So the coming back to thing main focus of this video is I'll try to consolidate all that information into this single video. Okay, so when you are going to prepare for your own exam, so it becomes very easy for you to get all the information in just one place. Okay, so that is my focus and that is the goal. Try to help you people as much as I can. So okay, so let's start with this video: role and scope of practice for personal trainer. I don't have notes for this chapter with me. Actually, I forgot that notebook in India. So starting chapters, I think till 4 or 5 chapters, I lost that my notebook in India. So I'll be going through by the book. I have highlighted everything. Tell you that. You in the meantime, you grab a pen and a paper. Along with this personal trainer manual, I have fifth edition. Whatever edition you have, you just open the book. So side by side, you can open the same chapter, and if you feel comfortable, you can just pause the video, go through that concept, and can come back again to the video. Okay, so in that case, you will be able to absorb more, and I'll try my level best to tell you all the tables, the diagrams, the keynotes, everything which is you have to take a note of it. I'll tell you that, so you just relax, don't worry. I've got you covered. Okay, so we start with this chapter. This chapter mainly talks about the role and scope of your duties. Okay, and this ACE is very particular about something, that is what you should avoid, you should not do. Okay, that is something which is ACE. This whole course is bundled upon that particular concept, that so that you should know that what all things you should not do with a client while training them. Okay, so that it may not harm the client, and that is obviously the first motive of being certified. Okay, this is an exam question. In exam it may ask that which is the most preferred something like that scope of trainer, as kind of thing, kind of question you may get. And always, whatever questions, 150 questions you are going to get in the exam, or mark my words that all the options will look very much similar and very confusing. Okay, so you have to concentrate on the wordings and you have to be very clear with the concepts, then only you will be able to get the correct answer. Okay, so the first question, exam question, comes from the this chapter, that what is the reason behind being certified. So the answer is to protect the public from harm, and that harm can be of any type: emotional, psychological, physical. It is written in the book as well, the type of harms. It is on the page number 7: physical, emotional, psychological, financial, and other harms. So we have to protect the public from getting harm in any way. So that is the main job duty of a personal trainer. Okay, so health benefit associated with regular physical activity, those are mentioned on the page number 3. This is an important table. You just have a look on this. This is not, I don't think this is going to come on the exam, but obviously you should, for your knowledge, you should know what are the importance, what are the benefits of doing physical activity daily. Like some of them is improve cardiorespiratory and muscular fitness, improve bone health, favorable body composition, Okay, lower risk of so many things like stroke, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, colon cancer, breast cancer, these many. So these are very generic things. You should know that. Moving on, it comes to the people who are involved in this healthcare industries like chiropractor, dietitians, naturopathic physicians, nurses, physicians, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers. You should know the names of these, and you should just read this description on page number 5. You should know what all responsibilities they have, because when you will be working in this field, you will be having a referral network. Okay, because many times the client will be coming to you and asking you for things which does not come under your scope. So you should have a referral network. Slowly when you work in this field, you have to develop that referral network. So you should know some of the registered dietitians, or you know some of the physical therapists, because the clients may have some irregularities with their diets or some injury related issues. So you have to direct the clients towards those specialists. And this question can come in exam, that they will give you a scenario in which they will say that client is facing this problem, and he would like to have what would be the best advice you should give. So options will be again very confusing and very much similar to each other. Like you should treat that thing, you should give a massage to a client, okay, you should prescribe something to the client. So these kind of words will be used. So you have to be very active, very very particular about that thing. And I'll tell you, there's a table in this chapter. Yeah, table number 1 hyphen 2, page number 9. This is an important table. It details about do's and don'ts for a personal trainer. So remember this: diagnose, prescribe diets, treat injury, monitor progress for medically referred client, rehabilitate, and counsel. Whenever these words are coming, this is not coming under the scope of a personal trainer. Okay, remember this. This is very important. Table 1 hyphen 2, page number 9. So the question which I told you sometime back, it will have 4 options in which they are going to use these kind of words like diagnose, prescribe, treat injury, rehabilitate, or counsel. And ACE never ask direct questions. Like, they always give a scenario in which they tell you a whole story, and you have to understand that story, and you have to judge that what as a personal trainer, what is the desired expected outcome from you, like how you should approach that situation. Okay, so like personal trainer, these were the don'ts. Now I'm talking about the do's. Personal trainer can design exercise program, they can refer the clients to an appropriate allied health professional, they can use exercise to improve health, overall health, help clients follow physicians or therapist advice, they can document the progress, they can coach, they can provide general information, they can refer client to qualified professional therapists or counselors. And these many things comes under the scope of a personal trainer. Okay, so just remember this table and read it carefully. A personal trainer cannot counsel, they can only coach. Okay, remember this, because they are going to give this question in exam and they're going to confuse you. So you should know what comes under your responsibilities. Okay, going forward, the next page also, page number 10, also says the scope of practice. It details like whatever you can do, you should do. Like, you have to conduct the health history interviews. We will be going through all this in details in the coming chapters. Right now, just understand the scope. So understanding scope is very important. This is the foundation level of this course, and you are going to get questions from this chapter regarding scope. Okay, so developing and implementing exercise program that are safe, effective, and appropriate for individuals who are apparently healthy or have medical clearance to exercise. Okay, designing structured exercise program for one-on-one and small group personal training. So these are the responsibilities: teaching correct exercise methods and progression through demonstration, explanation, and proper cueing and spotting techniques. So like I show you the book, I have marked like this. So you also use some kind of marker, and you just mark these things so that it becomes easy for you to, when you get back again to this chapter before exam or after this video, so you can easily try to remember all these things. Okay. And it is the responsibility of the personal trainer to learn and adhere to the laws in his or her geographical area. This is also important because in different countries, in different regions, they have different rules and regulations. So a personal trainer should be aware of that. Like, I'll give you a scenario for this. Like, sometimes your client will ask you that they like to train outside in the outdoors. So you cannot directly go with the client to some outside park or any trail or something like that. You have to understand the legality of that area, that whether you are allowed to do workout in that outdoor area with some of your clients, one on one or group training. So it is your responsibility to understand from the legality point of view, the legal counsel, that if it is allowed you can, otherwise you should not. Okay. Okay, then it says in every chapter you will have expand your knowledge sections and you have key concept section. Okay, so expand your knowledge is all about expanding your knowledge in terms like they'll give you a scenario in which you have to understand, simulate that scenario in your mind, and sometimes you should have a pencil or a paper. So whatever concept you have learned in that chapter, this expand your knowledge helps you to implement that scenario in your mind, do some mental maths or something like that, so that you get to be kind of aware of that real time situation when that client is going to come in that facility and you are working together. Okay, and something like that. So going forward we'll discuss this, we'll discuss this expand your knowledge for every chapter, so don't worry. Right now I'm just trying to give you some introduction of everything. So yes, this chapter also tells you that the exam will be divided into four different parts, the four different section, I must say, which will be divided with respect to the weightage. Okay. So the four sections will be, the first one is client interviews and assessment, which will carry 31% of the total marks. Then comes the program design and implementation, that is 33%. This is very important. Progression and modification is 19%, and professional conduct, safety and risk management is 17%. So these are the four sections in which the paper will be divided, the questions will be divided. Okay, so okay. So this is HIPAA. There is a HIPAA Act, that is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This is an exam question as well. So this act is basically created to maintain the confidentiality and the privacy of client's information. Under any circumstances, you cannot share the information, the client related information, to anybody else except the client. And you may get a question from this topic. Like, I got a question in which there was a scenario in which the client's spouse calls the gym facility, and she asked about some assessment reports of client. Okay, so there are four options, and those are, again, as I said earlier, this will be very confusing. So there was one option in which the trainer calls the client on phone. They ask for a verbal acknowledgement or a verbal acceptance that whether that assessment report can be handed over to his wife. But that was wrong. Under any circumstances, as I said earlier, you cannot give the client information to anybody else. So the correct answer is, you have to, with respect, you have to say no to that person, the spouse or any other person, whomsoever is asking for those reports. And you have to say that we have to abide by this law, by this act, so we cannot provide the client information to you. Okay, simply. But this is important. Okay, now certification period and renewal. Every certified personal trainer has to undergo recertifying themselves after 2 years for 20 hours. That after that they get this continuing education credits, that is called CEC. So it is very important to stay relevant according to the industry, and also it is important to be truthful to your client, because in this healthcare industry is ever changing and highly dynamic industry. So every now and then the standards gets changed. Like, I'll give you an example, like blood pressure. If we talk about a decade or if you talk about like around 100 years back, the normal standard blood pressure was used to be 180 plus. The systolic was 180 plus. And right now, till last year, the normal blood pressure range was 120 80. Systolic 120, diastolic 80. But last year in 2020, they changed it to 130 and I think 90. I think 90. Well, I need to double check that. But the systolic is 130. So this industry is ever changing, so you have to be updated with your information. Something that is correct today will may get altered tomorrow. So for a certified personal trainer, it is very important to recertify themselves after that time, that is 2 years set up by this AS. Okay, so now comes the key concept. Okay, page number 17, table number 1-3. This table gives you what I was talking earlier. That exam gives you scenario in which you have to understand whether the situation allows you, that scenario comes under your scope or doesn't. So this table tells you that, like, they have given couple of scenarios in which the client is standing with some deviation in his posture. He has tight IT bands, or he has some lordotic posture, or rotator cuff injury. Like, you don't need to worry about these big words, because we'll be covering these words when we'll be covering those chapters. But like, for example, if they have some structural deviation, like you can see my shoulders, they are equal. Okay, like if I, for example, my shoulders are like this. Okay, so I'm sorry, like this. So you can see that there's a postural deviation. Okay, so you have, what, as a personal trainer, what you'll do, you're not going to diagnose what is the reason behind this medially rotated shoulder or internally rotated shoulder. You don't have to diagnose this. Okay, you have to correct the posture so that my shoulders comes like this. Okay, so through the exercises, you have to understand first of all the postural deviations, then you have to do the core strengthening exercises so that my shoulders come to the normal position. Okay, so just go through this table. Right now you won't be able to get much out of it, because all these all these terms will be coming in the later chapters. But yes, go start going through these words like lordotic posture, iliotibial bands, or rotator cuff, because these are very important things, and you'll get to know everything in the coming chapters. Okay, so that's it. We are coming to the summary part of this chapter. So the people who are interested in becoming personal trainers, the ACE suggests that you should have these couple of these characteristics, like outgoing, excellent communicators, good at motivating people, sensitive to the needs of others, in excellent health and physical fitness due to the physical nature of the job, good at sales, because if you are working in a large commercial, fitness centers, then you should be good at sales as well. Personable and motivating to attract and retain clients. So I my personal suggestion is just go through this chapter, read it once completely word by word, because it will help you to understand many things which I'm sure you'll be learning a lot with this course. So this might not be very much important with respect to examination, but we have not taken this course to pass the examination. Okay, just always remember that we have taken this course to enhance our knowledge, so that we can be a good, a better, or a more better with time trainer. Okay, so that's it. This video is already been around 19 minutes. Okay, so best of luck with your studies, and I'll meet you soon with the another video on chapter 2. Thank you.